Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the After the Whistle podcast. I am your host, Owen Tomko, and as you can tell, there's a little bit of a different backdrop here today. I'm actually in my room instead of my office, my dad's office, actually. A little bit of unusual circumstances right now, because it is officially 9 o'clock where I am right now, so I'm already pretty much ready for bed, and I just decided, well, I can get a podcast in half hour, get it done. But we're going to be jumping into the NFL playoffs. You got wild card weekend starting tomorrow. Good slate of games. You have games tomorrow, 3 games today, or 3 games tomorrow, 3 games Sunday. You got 2 NFC games tomorrow, 1 AFC game tomorrow, and then you have 2 AFC games Sunday, 1 NFC game Sunday. So I guess we'll just jump right in. And this is the 1 AFC game tomorrow actually now, and it is the 11-5 Indianapolis Colts headed to Buffalo to take on the 13-3 Buffalo Bills. Buffalo, arguably the hottest team in the NFL right now. They've lost 3 games this year. I can't remember to who, but I don't think they've lost in their last. They haven't lost in the last 5. Colts have lost 1 game in their last 5 games, and that was to the Pittsburgh Steelers at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming back from 21 down. This is in Buffalo. It's going to be a 10 a.m. Pacific game, which means it's a 1:05 Pacific or 1:05 Eastern time game for all you Eastern time zone people, or it would be 12:05 for you Central time zone people. But the over-under this game is 51.5. As much as I'd like to say this is a high-scoring game due to the explosiveness of the Buffalo Bills offense, I'm going to take the under on this game. I think the defenses do decide to step up in this game. Indianapolis has arguably one of the best defenses in the league this year. They really have stepped up. And I think they're pretty hot. I just said how Buffalo is the hottest team in the NFL right now at the moment, actually. But I think Indianapolis is a very slept-on team here. I think it is the 3 seed versus the 6 seed. No, it's actually the 2 seed versus the 7 seed. Because I think Pittsburgh didn't get that 2 seed. I'm probably wrong. No, I'm right on that one. Over on this game's 51. I'm taking the under, actually. As much as I said, I like it to be a high-scoring game, I don't think it will be. I do think defenses step up in this one, and the Colts defense actually finds a way to sort of neutralize that dynamic duo of Josh Allen and Cole Beasley, but also that the dynamic trio, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Cole Beasley. Stephon Diggs is arguably the best receiver in the NFL this year. I wouldn't say so. I would say more along the lines of a Davante Adams, which is logical because he had like 1,500 yards. He's between 1,500 and 1,700 yards and 17 touchdowns on the year. That is missing 2 games as well. So he would have been on pace probably for 1,800, 1,900 yards and maybe 20 touchdowns, which is an unreal number for a receiver. Buffalo is getting 6.5 in this game, which I'm going to take them to cover. It's going to be a low-scoring game, but I do think Buffalo wins by a touchdown. I think Indianapolis, this is a team that can beat the Buffalo Bills. I think their defense is good enough. They're going to have to step up big, though, find a way to stop Diggs and Allen, but I think they can. I think they're one of the teams that could potentially get in their way, and that's the Indianapolis Colts. So I would expect this to be a very, very, very good game, a very close game, a very low-scoring game as well. But it's all going to come down to the Colts offense, really. If they can't score, you're not going to go toe for toe with Buffalo. You're going to have to score every single time you touch the ball against Buffalo, because they will score every single time they touch the ball. Sort of like Alabama. Alabama will score every time they touch the ball, and if you can get a stop, you got to go down and put points on the board. So I think it's going to be an interesting run. Phillip Rivers, maybe his last year. I hate to say it. I don't know how long he's under contract for, maybe 2 years, but yeah. So once again, I'm taking the Bills to win, Bills to cover, and I'm taking the under. So that means the Buffalo Bills will move on and advance. On to your 1:40 Pacific time zone game. it is a rematch, an NFC West matchup between the six seed, Los Angeles Rams and the 3 seed Seattle Seahawks. The Rams enter this game 10-6, while Seattle enters this game 12-4. Seattle has won the most recent meeting between these two teams. They beat them 20-9 in the Week 16 matchup, but they did lose Week 13 to the same. Maybe it was Week 13. Maybe it was week 12 or whatever. They did lose to these same exact Rams. Rams are 1-2 in their last 3 games. Their win last week was against the Arizona Cardinals, while their 2 losses, one to Seattle, 20-9, and one to the Jets, 23-20. Over under this game is 42. Based on how the last 2 games have gone, you would be smart to take the under here, but I think somehow it depends. Here's the thing: Jared Goff is still questionable to play in this game. Still questionable with his thumb injury that he fractured 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think now, and he needed surgery on it. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago against Seattle. So if he plays, I'm taking the over because I think Jared Goff is a necessary piece to that offense, even though he is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL, in my opinion. That is not because I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan, but that is because he is being paid like $180 million to be mediocre. They took a team to 10-6 and a loss to the Jets. Just really hasn't looked good statistically this year, but we all have those years. Carson Wentz is having one of those years, but he's likely on his way out. But that is what it is. As for the over/under, once I said it, it's 42. If Goff plays, it's an over. If he doesn't, they'll be starting the financial analyst, John Wolford, and I'm taking the under on that game. Spread in this game is 3 for Seattle. I do see Seattle winning, and I do see Seattle covering. I think this offense has taken a major step back since the beginning of the year when they started to finally build into the hype of Russell Wilson, let Russ cook, as people used to say back a couple weeks ago. But since then, since the bye week, has really fallen off a cliff on offense. But our defense has been one of the most surprising things. We've really stepped up in these last couple games. But once again, you're going to have DK Metcalf on Jalen Ramsey, and Jalen Ramsey is going to shut him down, as he did in the first 2 meetings. So with that being said, expect a lot of Chris Carson and Tyler Lockett in this game. I will expect a lot of too high from the Rams because Seattle can't find a way to beat that too high safety. But, we'll figure it out. So once again, I'm taking the over if Goff plays, under if Wolford plays. I'm taking Seattle to win, Seattle to cover. On to our final Saturday night game. Yeah, I'll call it a Saturday night game. It is 5:15 Pacific time. It is the 11-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are the 5 seed, against the 7-9 Washington football team. There have been 2 teams, I think, since 2010 to make the playoffs under 500. One of them was the 2010 Seattle Seahawks, who, if you all remember, that was the year of the Marshawn Lynch run, that famous Marshawn Lynch, that Beastquake run. And I can't remember the other team. I think it was the Panthers in 2012 or something like that. Over under this game is 44.5. I do think that is a reasonable spread because I do see it being a low-scoring game. With that being said, I'm taking the under. I think Washington's defense is arguably, they arguably have the best front 7 in football. Front 7, if you don't know what that means, 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers. Linebackers aren't the strength, but it's their defensive line that is carrying them. But with that being said, it does sound like Alex Smith is going to play in this game. But Ron Rivera has come out and said it is going to kind of be a rotating quarterback group between Alex Smith and Heineke, I think, is the backup quarterback for the football team. So once again, I'm taking the under. The spread in this game is 8 in favor of Tampa Bay. I don't know. I very well could see this game getting out of hand with all the weapons that Tampa Bay has: Godwin, Evans, Gronk, Ronald Jones. I mean, the list goes on. Um, but with that being said, I do think that pass rush finds a way to get home on Brady a couple times, kind of gets him out of his rhythm, makes a couple mistakes. I think Washington is very much in this football game. I do see Washington to cover. Actually, I don't see them winning. I do see Tampa Bay winning by 7, but I do think the football team put up a good fight in this game. I very well could see that happen because they are a very good defense. Actually, they've come on as one of the best defenses in the NFC this year, which is a surprise because they got really nobody in the secondary other than Kendall Fuller, Troy Apke, and Landon Collins. I think Landon Collins is still there. Can't remember. As of now, Devin White has been ruled out. I think he's been ruled out a while ago. I think he was out with a ACL injury or whatever. But Mike Evans has been ruled questionable as of yesterday, from when I'm recording this on Friday. But it is in Landover, Maryland, FedEx Field in Washington, or in Maryland, Washington D.C., whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so once again, I do see Tampa Bay winning, Washington covering, and I'm taking the under. I forgot to say players to watch. Players to watch for the football team, that defense, I think is going to be a big part of their game, and if they can play any defense, they have a chance in the game. And for Tampa Bay, it is going to be Tom Brady. If he can be Tom Brady, be the Tom Brady he's been this year. I mean, he's thrown for, he's 43 years old. He's thrown for 43, 44 touchdowns on the year. I mean, unreal. I'm going to go back to the Seattle Rams game. As for Seattle, key to that game, or players to watch in that game actually, is Tyler Lockett. I do see with Jalen Ramsey kind of shadowing DK Metcalf, I do think Tyler Lockett does have a very, very good game, lining up either in the slot or on the boundary. I don't know who their corner would be covering him, but I do see that as being a big piece of Seattle's game if they have a chance if they want to win this game. As for the Rams, it's going to be the quarterback play. I do think they have Cooper Kupp back for this game, but I very well could be wrong on that. So it's going to be quarterback play. If Goff plays, he's got to play well against his red hot Seattle Seahawks defense. But if it's Wolford, he's got to play. He's got to find a way to score. It's going to be a big part for the Rams in this game. As for Indianapolis and Buffalo, I'm going to say Indianapolis' defense. And I'm going to say Jonathan Taylor. If Jonathan Taylor can have the type of game he's having, that he's been having actually in the last couple weeks, he's turned it on as one of the best rookie running backs this year. Ever since I dropped him in fantasy, kind of cost me my fantasy season, but whatever. If he can have some sort of game, I mean, he rushed for 254 yards last week. It's unheard of in week 17. But yep, so I do see them. I do see Jonathan Taylor as a key piece to this Indianapolis Colts offense. As for Buffalo, Stephon Diggs. I mean, I'm going to say that receiver room actually. Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, Isaiah McKenzie, and John Brown if he is playing. Those are going to be the difference makers in this game. If they get shut down, I don't see them winning this game because Buffalo does not have a very, very, very good run defense or very, very good running offense. So it's going to be heavy on the throw. I mean, Allen has stepped it up this year. All right, on to our Sunday games. You got 3 more games to get to. First one is Baltimore. The Baltimore Ravens headed to Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Titans. Baltimore is 11-5 in this, and Tennessee is also 11-5. I don't know what seed they are. I think they're the 4-5 seed. I very well could be wrong on that one, but the over-under this game is 54.5. I'm going to take. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under. I've said under in actually every single one of these games so far, I think. But I am also going to take the under in this game. Nope, I'm taking the over. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, actually, now that I think about it. Derrick Henry is going to be the key player for the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to say the whole Tennessee Titans offense. They're going to have to score. because you know what Lamar's capable of, and he hasn't really had the year that everybody's wanted him to have. Um, Arguably, I mean, Ryan Tannehill has not had a better rushing year, but he has had a phenomenal, way, way better than Lamar's passing year. So, I mean, you can't really compare the two because they're two totally different quarterbacks. But if I had to pick a quarterback between Lamar and Tannehill this year, I would have taken, at the end of the year, not like at the beginning of the year, but at the end of the year, I would have taken Tannehill. At the beginning of the year, I would have taken Lamar after coming off the MVP year. But I'm gonna say, yeah, key to the game or players to watch in this game is the Tennessee Titans offense. It's gonna be a big part for the Tennessee Titans to win this game. Um, they're gonna have to score because you know what Lamar's capable of, and if he gets free and scores a couple touchdowns, you're in some trouble. Mind you, you have Derrick Henry, so there's, well, you can pick your poison there. As for Baltimore, key to this game, Lamar, he's going to have to do both. He's going to have to carry this team. Really no passing game. He's on for 2,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 9 picks. Not bad. Not what you expect out of a MVP caliber quarterback, but, you know, he's a totally different guy. He's rushed for 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns, so there's that. But he's going to have to carry this team. They really haven't been a threat in the passing game, but they have been a threat in the running game. So you're going to have to pick your poison there for the Tennessee Titans defense. You either commit to stopping the run and potentially get beat by Hollywood Brown over the top, or commit to stopping the pass, which I don't think you do, and get burnt by Lamar, which I hope doesn't happen. So once again, I'm going to take the over. Baltimore is favored in this game by 3. I don't see that happening. I see the Tennessee Titans winning this football game. I see them winning and I see them covering. Because I think Derrick Henry's just going to be too unstoppable. I mean, he's rushed for 2,000 yards this year. Phenomenal year. 17 touchdowns as well. I mean, that's an unreal number. 2,000 yards this year, and no, he didn't miss any games, but, you know, he's free. Congrats to him for getting the 2K club. But yeah, I do see Tennessee winning this game, Tennessee to cover. So over, Tennessee to win, Tennessee to cover, players to watch, Tennessee Titans offense, and Lamar Jackson. On to our next game, the only NFC playoff game on Sunday. It is the number 2 seed New Orleans Saints are taking on the 7 seed Chicago Bears. Chicago enters this game 8-8. They are dead even at 8-8. They are 500 and kind of turned it on down the stretch, but New Orleans is 12-4. All right, let me take a deep breath here. Over in this game is 47. What do I want to take here? I don't really know. I'm gonna take the over. I think both offenses have been playing really, really well as of late, and I do think they continue that hot streak. The spread is 10 in favor of New Orleans, and I do think they cover. I do think New Orleans wins. I do think New Orleans covers. Even though this Bears team has been hot as of late with Mitch Trubisky under center, who started the year not so good. I think he started 3-0. I can't remember, and then they benched him for some odd reason, whatever. But they have been really hot, but I'm still going to take the Saints to win, Saints to cover, and I'm taking the over. Players to watch in this game. Mitch Trubisky. Never thought I'd be saying his name in the playoffs, but he's going to be the player to watch for the Bears. He's going to have to put up points to try and go toe-for-toe with this New Orleans Saints powerhouse of an offense. Mind you, they have taken a step back, as much as I hate to say it. Drew Brees likely in his last year. He's getting older, and I mean, he just doesn't have the arm strength like he used to. But with that being said, players to watch for the Saints. You don't really need to watch out for Kamara, because Kamara's going to do Kamara things. So I'm going to say... actually, as of now, Alvin Kamara has been ruled out. I think that is with COVID. And I don't know if that means all the other running backs are still close contacts. But if that is the case, then this is a totally different game. but I'm not going to really predict on that because I do believe Kamara is eligible to play in this game in 2 days. I think his 10-day quarantine is up on Sunday and is eligible to play, but I very well could be wrong on that. With that being said, the player to watch in this game is Drew Brees. If Drew Brees can have a good game, even he just needs a decent game here, because he doesn't need anything special, because his defense is going to hopefully step up and stop Mitch Trubisky, which I hope they do, which I do see happening. But you just got to have he just has to have a Drew Brees type day. He doesn't need to be spectacular. He could just be an average quarterback here, because I do think, even though this Bears defense is very good, I do think they'll be able to put a ton of points on the board against them, because I just think they have too many weapons to stop them. But yeah, so with that being said, players to never mind. I'm gonna go straight. I'm just gonna end it here. I'm taking the over. Saints to win. Saints to cover. Players to watch for: Mitch Trubisky, Drew Brees. And we have one more game to get to here, and that is the Cleveland Browns headed to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. How do I put this? The Browns are in the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. Congrats there. Actually, now that I think about it, I think Buffalo. Yeah, wait a minute. I don't even know. I'm confusing myself here. I gotta stop doing that. With that being said, Cleveland enters this game 11-5, and Pittsburgh enters this game 12-4. They did play Week 17, and Browns did win the game, but that is with saying that none of the Pittsburgh Steelers stars played. Big Ben didn't play. None of their receivers played. Really, none of their running backs played. And Cleveland is without their head coach. Kevin Stefanski has been ruled out, if you want to put it, with COVID. He caught COVID. Another coach also has it. I think he's close contact with him. And Joel Bitonio, their starting left guard, is also out with COVID. So I think there's 2 players, 2 coaches who are out with COVID on this team, which is a huge hit. Huge hit for this Cleveland Browns team, which is just going to make my decision even easier here. Over in this game, 47.5. I'm going to take the over. It's going to be a high-scoring game. It's a divisional game. It's going to be high-scoring. They don't like each other. They're going to score. Spreading this game 6 in favor of Pittsburgh. I do see Pittsburgh winning, and I do see Pittsburgh covering. The offense is going to have to step up, though. If they can't step up, they ain't winning this game, because the Browns' offense is going to score. Even though Pittsburgh has one of the best defense, arguably the best defense in the NFL, I do believe Cleveland will score. They'll find a way to score, even without their head coach, which is a huge, huge hit. So with that being said, the people to watch in this game, I'm not even going to say a player for the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to say their interim head coach, whoever is taking over. I think it's their special teams coordinator, is taking over as head coach for the Cleveland Browns. He's not going to be calling the plays, I don't think. I think that's the OC up in the booth. Either he's going to be up in the booth or down in the field. So I'm going to say the coaching staff for Cleveland. They're going to have to come out with a game plan here. I know Kevin Stefanski's going to script the first 25, 30 plays or whatever. But after that, they're going to be making decisions on their own. They're going to have to be going quick and have to find a way to make good play calls. And that's not something you can just walk into and just start calling plays. So they got to step up if they have a chance at this game. As for Pittsburgh, I'm going to say their offense. Their offense has to be good in this game. They have to be. Running game's got to step up, and Ben's got to do what Ben's got to do. I mean, he's got Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Juju Smith, James Washington. I mean, he's got 4 plus Eric Ebron. He's got 5 good targets to throw to. He's just got to go hit them. He's just got to go let his playmakers make plays. So that being said, players to watch: whole Pittsburgh Steelers offense and the Cleveland Browns coaching staff. And then I'm just going to end it off with I'm going to take the over. I'm taking Pittsburgh to win, Pittsburgh to cover. So those are my wild card weekend playoff predictions. I'm going to be probably doing a video tomorrow morning going over the playoff bracket, like doing a playoff bracket, predicting things and stuff like that before the games start, if I wake up in time. So with that being said, I'm going to end it here, guys. Thank you all for watching, as always. Hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. I'm going to be doing more playoff stuff. I got one more college video coming Sunday, because that's the national championships on Monday, and then expect more playoff stuff, and then after playoffs, get into the NFL draft stuff, which I'm super excited about, so I hope you guys are too. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, boys.